Get that heater running. Well, yeah. Gremlin decided to stay at home. I know.
All right, 6:45. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody this morning? February is almost coming to an end. Yeah, long weekend. That actually triggers me to remind long weekends, again, a lot of theft, vandalism. All right, so lock up everything good and tight, doors, whatever we can, bring stuff back to the yard where it's secure. But again, this is usually these holiday weekends is when we come to work on Tuesdays and we find stuff missing. So let's really try to do our best to prevent that. This week's code of conduct coming up: maintain respectful behavior. One is working, driving a company vehicle or wearing a company logo. You're always representing the company. It's a good one to think about this week. You know, out there on the roads and how we're presenting ourselves. 139 days. We're coming upon our, as we've been tracking, our longest time between incidents. So next week, if we can really crank out next week and avoid any exposures that are unnecessary, hopefully we can come back and set a new record and continue this trend moving forward. And the spirit will continue just to get bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, I'm doing a lot of research now. I got some creams. I've been talking to some of the guys. You know, beard oils. Never know you need some of this stuff. You know, so they're helping me through this process. You know. Yeah, that too. Yeah, how do you make it grow? Yeah, right. There's chia pets. Right? So, yeah, this week, just want to highlight, I'm sure some people probably already know, we purchased an aerial lift maybe about a month ago. So we have a 60-foot aerial lift, you know, man basket, is currently up over at Ken's. It is an all-terrain. It has the tracks, things like that. So I just wanted to quickly go over some of the big awareness training. Now that we have one, we're going to be using them more and more probably on our projects. So just what are the requirements, what are the hazards, what are our exposures, and what is the potential of this thing? So there's a quick little news article I wanted to throw up, a fatality that happened down in Connecticut not long ago. Just want to fire this YouTube news alert on it, and it just kind of quickly talks about some of the potential, some of the dangers that we have.
Could have been prevented. That's the findings from OSHA concerning an August accident that killed Kevin Miranda. OSHA says Miranda's death could have been prevented if his employer, Skyline.
Gotta figure out what's going on here. Sorry about that. Okay.
Accident last year in Taunton could have been prevented. That's the findings from OSHA concerning an August accident that killed Kevin Miranda. OSHA says Miranda's death could have been prevented if his employer, Skyline Contracting and Roofing Corporation, had followed industry and federal safety standards. The results of the investigation just coming out today: Miranda was operating an aerial lift when it tipped over, and when the basket he was in hit the ground, Miranda was ejected and thrown 16 feet. OSHA found that the lift was not on level ground and that Miranda's fall protection lanyard was not attached to the basket or boom. OSHA determined that Miranda wasn't trained by his employer to recognize that hazard. The agency has proposed a fine of $102,000 to Skyline Contracting and Roofing. The company has 15 days to respond. Now, we have called and emailed the company for a comment, but have not heard back yet.
I was thinking tipped over backwards.
Yeah, uneven ground was one of the biggest things, and you know, as we know that all of our job sites that we're on, it's very frequent. So there's a lot of alerts, leveling. Let's go ahead.
Understood that it was on uneven ground,
yeah,
and that was the cause of the tip. But what good did a lanyard do him if it was hooked? He'd have been still crushed either way.
Well, yeah, well, part of it is there's a guardrail system. It's not a rollover protection system. The thought is the basket itself will take a lot of the brunt force of that, and the lanyard. And if we're going to talk about a retractable is just more of a fixed device, where it's almost like wearing a seatbelt, but it's not going to be a rollover protection case. You're still going to get hurt, but the likelihood that you might actually not die. All right, we're going to talk about a little bit of that.
I think a lot of times they're ejected from the.
They get ejected, and your head.
Yeah. Got ejected 16 feet.
He got ejected 16 feet.
Fall 60 feet, hit the ground.
Right.
But if you're up 60 feet and that thing went over, you're doing 40, 45 miles an hour when it hits the ground.
Yeah, but you're going to also get ejected, and you're going to hit stuff.
Most of the time, it's just a bounce.
Right.
Like that, and all
Like
of a sudden,
stuff like that.
your catapult, really.
Yeah. Right. So again, it's something to think about, and really part of this aerial lift is the training. And very much like ladders, everything in the aerial lift, all your training, all your information, everything that we're going to talk about is all posted right on this aerial lift, right inside either the man basket where you get the operator's manual. This is actually our man basket, our inside our man basket right here. There's a nice little safety little book. It's like the Cliff Notes version of the standard, plus just some great awareness stuff with pictures and stuff like that. So you can go thumb through it with a new employee or anything like that, and then the operator's manual is in there. And then this is kind of on the base of the aerial lift, and it talks about your dangers. A lot of it's your power line stuff, your uneven terrain, making sure you're following your alarms. When you go beyond that kind of tipping point, the machine kind of shuts down. That we make sure we identify those situations, incline, decline, percentages of where we should be, how we should be positioning this piece of equipment. So the training is the first bit. Everybody should have training before they start operating an aerial lift. You can call myself, I can come up, or we can kind of just go over with the new employees some of the really, just like our ladders, all the warning signs and information. So a couple of quick things just on the basket. We can't overload our basket. Our basket's a 500-pound basket, so it's only good for two people max, 500 pounds. So that's your weight and any of your tools or equipment that you're utilizing inside that basket. So here's some of the controls. I kind of blew up this picture a little bit. On your right is all your driving controls. All right, forward, back, turning your tires. The middle one is to extract your booms. You bring them in and out. And then on your left is all your baskets. Okay, your alarms here, your emergency shutdown is over there in the right. I got a couple different toggle switches. I believe there's 4 different toggle switches, and a lot of that is for moving the basket kind of side to side and up and down like that as you need to position yourself. And then the other one is between the slow speed and the higher speed stuff. So that's kind of the type of basket. It's a 60-foot man basket. It's good to go over those controls, especially if someone might be new to a man basket, have them just operate it, just really low level first and moving around on a nice safe job site before we get into something a little bit more hazardous with uneven terrains, going up and over things as well. So fall protection, all right? Big change in the industry of fall protection inside man basket. For the most part, everyone was saying, just grab a lanyard, grab a harness, all right? Well, has changed is we should be using retractable or short shock absorption lanyards, all right? Because a lot of the problem was these old school lanyards, all right, these are only good for an 18-foot fall, all right? So what happens if you're up, you're up only 15 feet in an area, a man basket, and you go over the edge? This isn't going to save you. You're still going to hit the ground using these older style lanyards. So it's very important that we always use, I would really like for us to always use retractables from here on out. Retractable lanyard, it's like a seatbelt. It just stops right away. Anything happens, you just stop. You're not going to go more than 18 feet here, 6 to 8 feet with this one. It's really going to keep you in the basket. It's really going to keep us, it really prevents a fall is what retractable lanyards do. So anytime you're going to do some aerial lifts, please come grab a retractable and make sure we have a full body harness readily available for whoever's going to be inside that aerial lift.
That style is acceptable, just not preferred.
Yes, acceptable, but I really would like to see these. All right, these are really going to keep you from going anywhere. They lock you right into place. You can't really move. If anything happens, if you go over something and you might get bounced out of the basket, you just get locked right in and you maybe go a foot off the basket, not potentially getting flown up, and it creates more damage, higher potential of injury here than here. Makes sense? Is there any questions?
You see people use them as a crane too,
Yeah.
and that's.
Yeah, you gotta follow the manufacturer's recommendations. They will let you know how much they could pick. Usually the manufacturer says no picking. But again, all that information is right in the basket. You look right through that user manual, it's gonna tell you everything you need to know in that basket. It's in that user manual, it's inside the basket. So utilize that.
To use it, we're supposed to be going through the user manual.
Correct.
Remember, we've had that word from OSHA before that our operators need to be
Familiarized.
I think that was that, really the essence of that citation on the guy, the fatality. I think basically, I think it's extremely rare to topple one, unless maybe if you're overloading the basket or doing something like trying to pick with it.
Yep.
I think there's almost. What's that?
Am I allowed to get out of the basket once I'm up?
Gotta follow manufacturer's recommendations. Scissor lifts, yes. Aerial lifts, they say no. But you gotta look into the actual
So
manufacturer.
not only don't step on the railings.
Can't step on the
extra
rail.
height, don't step on a ladder inside the basket.
Right.
But as far as getting in and out of the basket as an elevator.
You have to
You tie off to what you're getting on.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
You gotta make sure you have fall protection coverage.
So in the case in Connecticut, it sounds like something went pretty wrong.
It sounded like they're on really uneven terrain, fully extended.
Right. And even then, I would have thought, unless there was some overloading condition, that it wouldn't have done that. Maybe a strong wind helped it.
Yeah.
I know it always feels like it's tippy, right?
Right.
I don't know if they have, do they have limit switches or not? I don't know if ours does. I think.
Some do.
Some
Some
do, some
do.
don't, right?
Yeah, some do. Some come with outriggers that you can put down. But I get it's.
But there's leveling capability in the machine as far as figuring out how far out of level, I believe, right?
Yeah, you know,
So
the alarm will
that-
come on.
Yeah.
Right. So then, based on that, it should be able to tell whether it's exceeding its capacity.
Is that track machine more stable than a rubber tired lift?
I would think so, because I think when you're crawling, it's better than wheels,
Yeah.
right?
Plus you've got the weight of the track system on each corner. versus
Yeah, it probably does weigh a little more. I don't know if they load the tires normally.
Yeah.
But
The only thing with it behaves like a set of tracks. It does slide sideways. Like sliding on a set of
Right.
rails.
Right.
It's just really paying attention to those alarms and don't get overconfident and really set up your job, especially if you are extending out that 60 foot, the maximum range of a piece of equipment. We really want to make sure we're thinking about everything, ground conditions, we're level, all that stuff. We should really make sure we're going through all those steps before we.
Yeah, but and it's like a crane.
Exactly.
You don't want to be running that thing at full capacity all the
Right.
time.
Exactly.
You want to be back in a bit.
Yeah.
You don't want to be working underneath someone else either, putting
Right.
yourself in a fall hazard from someone working above you.
Right, and you got to be careful with people working because the tools falling and stuff, boards falling, whatever.
Mhm.
So, okay.
Good conversation.
Yep. Okay, so we've got a holiday. Monday the 19th is a company holiday, and so the offices are closed, and we need to get our timesheets in this afternoon if it's possible, if not first thing on Tuesday morning. So let's see, we've got announcement that Brian Harrington got his CDL, huh? Yeah, right. Look at that. Look at him. I got him. Good picture. Where's Brian? Is he in here?
He's right here.
Ah, wasn't that a good picture, Brian? Yeah. So you went all the way to Massachusetts. It's got hot mix, and we'll be talking about the project here in a minute. We still got some information on the mobile app, and if you haven't got it, please check with Brendan or Matt. And I didn't do a technical tip today. Sorry, guys. We're starting a new theme next week, so need a break in between. The reason that Brian and others went down to Massachusetts is to pick up some hot mix for this pavement for the water break paving project for the village of Essex Junction. And each guy was hired by the village to pave after a water break at the intersection of Route 15 in Densmore. That's right next to Brickyard Road. And the scope included minor coal planing, fine grading, prep before paving. And the paving included 4 trucks that went down to Drake it. where there's an asphalt plant that's pretty much open year round, at least when it climbs above reasonable temperatures. Sometimes I think they stay open when it's pretty darn cold, right? We haul out of there when it's very cold. But Jim, that's the busy days, like when we went down, because everyone's like thinking this is a good day to do potholing. So then we brought back 60 tons of base material and paved in the winter.
Who's that picture?
On the coal plater?
Yeah. That's
Sean? Yep. That looks like we're just trimming the edges out there. And then beautiful sunny day above freezing too. So they did about 100-foot length of that, right? 60 tons.
Daryl.
Yep, Daryl's on the paver. Here we are in February. Well, paving. Worked pretty good. We had noticed that Weston had a water main break and that they had torn up the whole, like 100 feet of Densmore. And so Daryl, I said, Daryl, what can we do? He said, I'll call Rick Jones. So we called the village, and all of a sudden this work becomes ours, right? We gave him a quote. So good job by Daryl. So pretty neat little job for this time of year. And then from the photo archives, this is the UVM Commons steam line. I'm trying to remember where on campus that is. I guess, is that over in near the athletic campus?
Looks like Fletcher in the background, doesn't it?
right. That's little funny.
Yeah, maybe. Must be.
And Donnie Mason on the right.
Yeah, it looks like Donnie.
I don't
And
recognize
maybe
the fellow in black coat.
Paul.
Yeah, that's Paul Brunton.
And maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody in the engineer or IBM or UVM. So good. All right. Have a good day out there. Have a good holiday weekend. Yeah.
John Lampier. Jessica.